If you think about the ramp to addiction as a thermometer, becoming addicted is at the top. Where you actually start out on the thermometer and how fast you move up is determined by several factors. One of the factors is age. Family history matters, but most of us don't know. Another factor is your frequency and amount. Every time you get drunk or high, that's another tick up for your thermometer. That adds up quickly if you're partying every weekend. The higher you go, the stronger the cravings, and the more you stray from the real you. Let's hear about the ramp to addiction and the warning signs along the way that I wish I knew about. I would show up hungover to games, puking on the sidelines, getting high before practice.
I went from getting straight A's to getting D's and failing.
Not even get out of bed to go to school on time.
I would skip class to drink because I had hangovers.
And then you just feel terrible and you're in the corner puking and you just want it all to just be over.
Then it turned into I'm fighting people.
You lie because you do something that's gonna hurt somebody.
It made it worse where I was using it as a crutch, so when I used it to solve my problems, I was no longer able to solve them without drinking, without smoking.
Kind of like a cycle. You start using one thing and then that thing doesn't really work anymore, so you go to the next thing. And then
Family, bringing it up constantly.
As I started losing friends,
It seemed like I was always the one that needed taken care of after a night out.
Cuts, scrapes, black eyes.
Didn't care about anybody else on the road.
I crashed my car, I got DUIs.
Many times I would drink to a point where I completely don't know what happened.
Don't drink before 5 o'clock. I broke that one. Don't drink on weekdays. I broke that one.
I stopped taking care of myself. My personal hygiene was getting bad.
I was always in my room. I didn't want to go anywhere.
I had big dreams. I was going to go to Harvard. I was going to be a lawyer. That's impossible now.
I couldn't stay in a relationship. I felt like I was constantly letting girls down. One of the challenges of addiction is that you don't actually know when you've become addicted. There's an invisible line you cross, but you don't actually know where that is.
Addiction did sneak up on me. At the time, I was just Melvin, a kid, kid from the city that had good grades, and when I went down that wrong path, it just caught me by surprise. Eventually, I would look at myself in the mirror and just not recognize the person in the mirror.
It makes you think you're doing better and feeling better and whatever. And then you do reach that point where it's that teeter-totter and then you're like, all right. But you don't even realize you're going down that downslope until you're almost towards the bottom and then you're scrambling and you're like, what happened?
But if you recognize yourself in any of these things, man, I'm telling you, it's not normal. We can fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. I'm not as bad as that guy. She's way more of a mess than I am. It may seem normal if all of your friends are doing it, but man, I'm telling you, you're somewhere on that ramp.
It starts out with smoking weed. All right, my mom's mad at me. Screw her. I'm gonna go out and smoke a joint. That starts this pathway in your brain, and then it might be drinking, and then it just progresses. And so now you carve out almost like a canyon, like a water running through a canyon. And now you carve out this pathway, and it becomes like an automatic behavior. Anytime something happens, anytime someone gets you mad, it can go from serious things, using drugs, alcohol for serious things, and by the end of it, it's like my shoe's untied, I'm getting high. Then it just becomes excuses. Those behaviors they progressively get worse, they progressively get stronger.
What starts out as a choice becomes a compulsion that drives our behavior and ruins our lives. If you don't deal with it or stop, life gets increasingly worse over time because of what's happening in the brain.
Like I said, that canyon is so deep in your brain, that pathway for your neuroconnectors, it's like automatic. And it takes time to shut that off and to retrain your brain, to retrain the thought process.
Just think about the pathways you are carving and how they'll set you up for life. Will they help you accomplish your dreams, or hold you back. Only you can decide.